Hi guys, welcome back to my channel where the gnomes live. This is Sharon Oyella, and today we're carrying on with the pumpkin house build. We're going to be making a crystal ball, and we're also going to be making a couple of cauldrons. One of the cauldrons is a pre-made pot that I had on hand, and then the other cauldron is one that I made out of foil, and this one also lights up. For the crystal ball, I'm using a marble and an acorn cap as the base. The marble is opalite. You can use any marble of your choice. A clear one would work as well. To glue those together, I'm using E6000. In this video, I'm also using white glue. You can use tacky glue or Elmer's glue wall, doesn't matter. I'm using some split peas, polyester stuffing that I painted, some wire. You can use anywhere from 20 gauge to 24 gauge, scissors, pliers, and all. And the paint colors are black and leaf green. And to light up my cauldron, I'm using dollar store string lights. These do not heat up, they're LED string lights, and they're also submersible. Alright my friends, we're going to get started, and we begin with the crystal ball. Remember, there are detailed timestamps and links to this project in the pinned comment below. So now we're going to make the crystal ball, and this is a little bag of marbles my sister-in-law gave me, and I could not believe this one right here. My goodness, it's perfect for the crystal ball. So for the base of it, I'm going to use an acorn cap. I just have to remove the stem, and then I'm going to sand it down. And this would have worked right here, but I also have a Dremel, so I'm going to make a little bit more of a sanding dent, so the ball will sit in there a little bit nicer. But if you don't have a Dremel, the emery board will sand it down enough. And then where the stem came out, I just took my X-Acto blade and made a hole there. And you want to do that step very gently, otherwise the acorn cap could crack. And to strengthen up the cap, I'm going to put a layer of thin fabric inside. But I couldn't get the fabric down without it sticking to my fingers, so I just had to use a little bit of water and tacky glue. And then I'll just spread that around evenly and let it dry. Now that it's dry, I'm not going to take off the excess fabric yet. I'm just going to put a layer of this clear nail polish. And this makes it look absolutely beautiful. Take a look at the difference here. Beautiful. Once that's dry, then I will cut the fabric free. And then using E6000, I'm going to glue my little crystal ball on there. E6000 takes about 24 hours to cure. Alright, so the very next day I did paint the underside black, and I waited a day because I do want to wrap some thread around the very bottom here, and I don't want that marble to come flying off of there. So I'm just going to wrap this around 3 times. This is waxed thread, so I just have to knot it once, pull tight, cut off the excess. And I'll use a little tool and I'll push in a little bit there and make sure it's all pushed in there nicely around with my tool. And there we go, there's the finished crystal ball. I think it looks fantastic. Oh, I did add another layer of nail polish because it lost a little bit of its shine. So my little black kettle here never used to look like this. It actually used to be one of those little brass fittings here. And I changed the appearance. I also gave it a look of boiling water on top, and I gave it a handle. So if you go to my blog, SharonOyella.com, a link will be below, and go to the search bar and type in kettle. Scroll down past the ad. There you go. So the first kettle right there, that's what it used to look like with that skinny little spout. Let's take a closer look. So see that? I don't know why they make them with skinny little spouts like that. Anyway, I completely changed the look there, and I wrote down all the steps on my blog, on this blog post here, how I did the handle and how I did the water inside. Okay, so this was a number of years ago. I believe it was 2019. But let's scroll down a little ways here. And if you go down to this one, you can see how I did the handle, and I explain it in the steps there as well. So to add that little coil handle. So I'm going to take one of these little copper pots here. I'm going to do the same thing. The only difference is I'm not going to keep that handle that I just removed. I'm going to discard that because I'm going to make new handles out of twine. I'm going to take some paper towel and break it down into little bits that are easy to work with. And the glue that I'm using is just your regular white glue. It's Elmer's white glue. And I'll just paint it over the entire surface. And little bits of paper towel, I'm just going to glue those in. So you lay the paper towel down on top of glue, and then you paint glue over top. Don't put paper on anything dry. So every time you layer this or overlap it, you want to make sure that there's always wet glue that the paper is going into. I just stuck a little pin through the hole there so I can hang on to it and do the underside. And then it will also dry that way. So I'm just going to continue here. And you can see the rim, that one little area under my finger right there, a little bit thinner. So I'm just going to add a couple more layers there just to kind of bulk that up. And for the legs, I did little tiny strips. And you might have to take the layers of the paper towel apart during this step because they sometimes will separate and it gets hard to put them down. But again, just wrapping it around with white glue and paper towel, and I'll let that dry. So if you don't have a pot to work with, why don't we just make one? So I'm just going to use foil, and I'm going to get it into a pot shape, of course. And this takes a little bit of fiddling. And you can also cut pieces away if they're too bulky. Anything that you cut away and put back together, just fix it with tape so it'll hold its shape while you're working on it. And use your pliers, and you can shape it more like that as well. I was just adding more foil here to the edges to bring them all up to the same height. Once I was happy with everything, I added masking tape to the entire surface. And you do want to add tape to the foil because it's going to strengthen up the whole structure, okay, before we add the paper towel. So there we go. Now we're going to make some legs. I just take a piece of foil like that, and then I'm going to squish the one end and hold the one end flat with my thumb on the right side there. I'm just holding it flat and then making the little leg. And don't worry about getting them exactly the same size during this step. You don't have to do that. You just have to have a little stem that you can work with once it's on the pot, because you can always bulk it up with tape or bulk it up with paper towel. So don't worry about making them all the same size. You can cut them down or make them longer as needed. So I'm just straightening them out with my pliers here, just giving them a little bit more shape, making sure that the pot will stand up level, and then I can add my masking tape around the legs. So there we go. I've added the masking tape. They're exactly the way I want them right now. And if I need to change anything in the future, I can always bulk up a certain part with paper towel, like I said. So same thing with the other pot, just cover the entire surface with the paper towel. And now I'm going to make some handles, and I decided to go with twine. I'm just going to pull apart the layers, get down to one layer here, and I'm going to dip that in the glue and then run that through my fingers, make sure that the twine is completely saturated with the glue, and then I'll form a little handle. Now you can form it in your fingers and just attach it to the pot that way, but if it gets frustrating and it keeps sticking to your fingers, whatever, you can form it and then lay it down onto a piece of styrofoam like I'm doing here, or anything, wax paper, and then just leave it sit. You don't have to do it all in one shot. You can let the glue kind of dry a little bit, and then you can come back and form it some more. Go wash your hands, come back. It'll be a little bit easier to work with. But once you get it on the pot like that, just add more glue right over where it's attached. And I'm pushing the glue and forming it around with my awl there, and just making sure that it's got full contact, the handle and the pot. It has full contact, so when that glue dries, the handle will be stuck in place. So back to my pot I just made with foil. I'm going to use my pliers and just go around the entire edge like this, just flattening it out, kind of reducing the amount of wrinkles there. And the edges were a little bit too bulky, so I'm just thinning them down. And you can see on the one side I'm pointing to a little bit more shape than the other side, and that's because when I put my pliers on, I push down on the handle and pushing the needle part of the pliers up into the pot. So it's kind of pushing the bowl of the pot outwards, giving it a little bit more shape. And once you're done with all that shaping and everything, then you can go ahead and paint them. And I'm just going to go with your regular traditional black paint. And before I painted the one that I made with foil, I decided to add some lighting, and this was just happening as I was building. This was not planned. So I'm just going to go ahead and poke a hole in the very bottom. And then I decided to add a little piece of plastic to the very top of the lights, just to separate the lights from the stuff that I'm going to add on the top. And then I painted that plastic green, and you can see I made the circle a little bit too big just so I could have something to hang on to there, because this was just happening as it happened. So painted it green, let that dry, and I'm ready to put my lights in. Now I started to coil this down and then realized I should probably have something to reflect the light at the bottom of the pot. I have self-adhesive type foil. I got it at the dollar store. You can use actual foil itself, but watch how bright this is once I get this in here. It just totally reflects that light upwards. Once you have that in, then you can go ahead and coil the lights down. I'm going to stick that plastic piece right on top. And before we carry on, I'm just going to show you how I painted my polyester stuffing. So I just took a little clump and stuck it into the neck of my paint bottle and just run it around in my fingers just to get that paint spread around. And then I'll let that dry. And I didn't film this part, but I did paint the inside of my pot above the plastic piece and around the rim. Alright, so I'm just going to add a little bit of green stuffing here, and you can do this in any order that you wish, because I honestly didn't know exactly what I was going to be doing. So I just thought I'd start with gluing down something. So I started with the stuffing first, and then I decided to look up some images on Google of a witch's cauldron, and that's what gave me a couple more ideas with like the bubbles and adding some things inside. So I got a bag of split peas. I'm just gluing a few pieces in, and then I remembered that I've made eyeballs out of split peas before. Anyways, I did glue two together to make them round, and then I painted on pupils and dotted in the black part. I also make eyeballs out of pins, and I have a video showing how I do that, and I'll put that link in the pinned comment below. I wanted to have bubbles, so I went looking through my stash and I found these little beads. Don't know where they came from. They were still closed in the package, but they're clear beads, and so I shoved some in there and I didn't like the way that looked. So I decided to hot glue some into the side and make them look like they're cascading over the pot down towards the ground. And once they were all glued in, I did do a light coat of that green because I wanted them to be a little bit transparent as well. So just did one light coat of that green. And then I just started adding different things here and there. I did do just the regular colored polyester stuffing as well to make it look like steam. And then I started gluing in my eyeballs and a few of those split peas and little pieces from that split pea package. Now, around the edge, I did paint it some, but then I ended up adding some hot glue because I wanted it to look a little bit more 3D, that paint. So I had painted it, then I added hot glue over top, and now I'm going to paint the hot glue. Alright, so going back and looking at photos online of a witch's cauldron, there is bubbles normally coming out of the pot itself, steaming up over everything else. So to achieve that look, I'm using wire, so you can use anywhere from 20 gauge to 24 gauge wire, and a dot of hot glue on the end. Now the three that I just showed you, I ran some hot glue down the stem as well. So I'm going to make a couple of more with the hot glue just on the very top. And I found if the hot glue gun got too hot, then the bubble wouldn't form right. So you might have to unplug it, let it cool down a little bit, and then it'll work out a little bit better. And then of course, once the hot glue is cooled down, then you can go ahead and paint them. Alright, so I'm going to show you how I attach these in the next clip. I just wanted to show you what these ones look like with the hot glue. And now I'm going to make a few out of pins. So I have different size pin heads here. So I'm just going to shove them into the styrofoam and paint them. And then all I have to do is just cut off the stem to the size or the length that I want once they're done. Alright, so I found the easiest thing to do here was just cut these wires down and then stick them right into the plastic that I had attached above my lights. To do it this way, you have to be really careful not to poke your lights, of course. So I'm going to use an awl. I'm going to try the pin first, but it didn't go in. So I'm going to use an awl and I'm going to push very gently. I don't want to push through and hit my lights. So I'm just going to push it until it breaks through that plastic. And sometimes I found it easier just to keep my awl in there until I could slide the pin in its place. And then the heights of them are totally up to you. I found that the ones that I had put hot glue down the stem and painted, I put those a little bit higher. And the ones that didn't have the painted stem, I just put a little lower. And you can also hide some of the stem with a bit of that polyester stuffing, of course. And then I decided to add a few more things from the split pea package into the pot, just to give it a little bit more interest. And then once I was happy with what I had in there, everything got a clear coat of nail polish, just to add that shine, make everything look wet. Alright guys, so the cauldron without anything in it will probably just sit inside my fireplace inside the pumpkin house, and the one here with the battery pack, I will probably place it in the front of the pumpkin house, and that will be in an upcoming video. If you need ideas on how to hide a battery pack, I have a couple of videos here on YouTube. One is hiding it inside the tree, like I just showed you there, with a hinged piece of bark. And then I also made an outhouse, which is a battery pack shed that holds the other lights. So there's a couple of ideas for you. Maybe those will give you some ideas on hiding your own battery packs. And until the next time, when I get this one here into place permanently, I'm still not sure exactly where it's going to go yet. I know we're getting really close to Halloween, so I got to get started on the next video. I'm in the middle of trying to figure out which character I'm going to be putting in this house. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel before you leave so you know when the next video is available. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.